26.1 just got announced. This is Tips and Tricks with Mayhem. All right, the best way I figured out how to write this is this way. You're gonna go up 20, 30, 40, 66. I'm sure there's some meaning for that. Down 40, 30, 20, 18, 18, box jump over, step over in the middle, back down to the box jump over. I would recommend having a whiteboard close so you know what the hell you're doing next. It's a bit confusing. All leg, obviously. The wall ball speed. There's different ways to break this down. You're either going to be able to go unbroken and worry about speed, or you're going to need to time your brakes accordingly on the wall ball.
Yes, I think there's, you said the 1% that's going to go for broke, unbroken wall ball as fast as they can, box jump over into box step over and back. And so they're thinking, if I want to finish, where do I have to be at each segment to allow myself to finish? You'd have to be obviously through 33 wall balls at the 6-minute mark to do so. The other 99% of us, or 99.9% of us, will think, okay, let's do backwards math of where do I want to be at the 12-minute mark. So we'll treat it like a 12-minute AMRAP, and you'll move through it as if you're pacing it that way. So you're gonna have to do some math. It's so quick I haven't actually done it all, but you'll go total reps. So if you're gonna get through 40 wall balls, you know at that point you've done 20, 50, 90, 156, 206 wall balls. It's 246 total. I hope I just did that math right. I may have jacked something up.
I can't tell if it's 246 or 256.
The total reps you're gonna do, and then each segment write down a time where you think you gotta be at. So if you're at the 12-minute mark here, this is probably gonna take you almost 2 minutes. So you might be done with these step overs at like the 10, 15 mark and work your way backwards like that to have a goal for the workout. You're gonna have that whiteboard you mentioned with each portion of it and a minute mark written by each of these. Rough estimate where you can be can help you keep pace in workouts, you know, if you're on, off, and how you need to adjust.
Yeah, I think, you know, one way, really the only way to speed the wall ball up is to be able to catch it in the bottom of the squat and right back up to it. You might be able to do that on some of these, but as you get fatigued, it might start slowing down a little bit. On the step overs, because you are going to, your legs are going to blow up. Once you get to here, I saw Colton hold on to the med ball. I'll probably drop it for a quick second just to shake my arms out and pick it right back up. It was impressive. He went with a bear hug. I don't know. This feels like, I feel like I can hold it better here and maybe switch arms halfway through. It's hard to tell what your arms are gonna feel like. I feel like for the most part for me on wall balls, my shoulders blow up more than my legs. However, the box jump and the step over are gonna compound that, so your legs, it's gonna be.
I think too, if you get your arm all the way around the ball like Jason did, you're probably gonna hold there, switch arms, whereas if you can't get a good grip on it, you have to go both
I just feel like
arms.
there's so much holding.
It's hard to breathe, both shoulders being used. If you gotta go there because you can't steady it here, do that, but otherwise probably one arm. I don't have standards yet, so it looked like his thigh was touching the ball. Bear hug on the way up, so I'm gonna assume you can do that. If not, double check standards. They weren't out when we started making this. But like Rich said, squat down with the ball as it comes down to go faster. And use your energy some too. You don't have to wait to catch and then drop down the squat. If you're not going unbroken, easy strategy at the gate is 10s, or think, all right, once I'm in these 66, like what's the sets I'm doing there? Am I able to hold 15s? Then maybe you go unbroken here, then you're gonna start breaking immediately, almost everyone. But if you go 10-10 or even...
I would be careful. I always like the descending set. So if you're gonna go 10-10, I would go 11-9 here.
Yeah.
And then, you know, get over halfway, even 12-10-8, something like that on this next one. But you can always, it's hard to match sets once you get fatigued, but you can always be like, oh, I can go 2 or 3 less reps than this, or you get to a number, you're like, okay, I've got to get here the next set. So think about that when you're breaking it up. Stay low on the box jump overs is another thing. You know, you can spin and do the same leg, but one of your legs is going to get blown up. The problem is if you don't practice the lateral, it kind of throws off your cadence. So do a little bit of, in your warm-up, do a little bit of practice on those jump overs. The step over.
We can show some footwork too with it. And if you think, always face this direction, it does just help you mentally, okay, I'm just gonna look at this the whole time that way. Footwork, you should still practice it, but it can help you think about one less thing.
But you will not blow up one leg if you're doing that.
I'm not a spin fan either. And then
I used to spin, but I've tried to start working on
not spinning.
Alternating.
On the wall balls, thinking about rest time, if you're going 11-9 or even like 7-7-4, bigger, smaller sets, have a maximum rest time you have during the workout. So every time I drop it,
a breath even.
It's either you know, 3 breaths and I'm picking it back up, or if you really want to watch the clock, you can, but as long as your breaths eventually will be consistent, so it might be 3 breaths, I'm always picking it back up. That'll keep you, rather than resting 30 seconds between sets on that. Box jump over, like Rich was talking about, on cadence, rhythm, how you're going to perform those on that. Just come out at a pace, a touch conservative. Don't go as fast as possible. Obviously, that way if you're in this back end or the back half of the workout as a whole, it's a steady pace you know you can maintain throughout. The goal on those would be to really not rest any or minimize resting. You just slow down your cadence so you stay moving on those, because you can stay moving easier on that versus wall ball. You're probably going to have to drop it eventually.
Cool. I don't really think there's a ton to talk about on the wall ball. The more upright you can be, the better. If you want to do the little swim thing, it does give your arms a little break once you get, but it is a little extra movement. Might get the heart rate up a little higher, but I think it saves the shoulders, because I think these might be a little bit worse than we think. You can box jump over. I don't want to box jump over. There's 2 ways to look at it. You can stay crouched because it'll be faster, or you can get a little bit of stand up to give yourself a little bit of break on the breath. So I'll probably stay as crouched as long as I can, and then as it slows down, I'll probably take my time over the top of the box.
Yeah, staying low is going to help regardless throughout. It's just that breathing, as you get more and more tired, you want to stop, so stand up at the top. I believe you can rebound them.
Can't?
Can. I believe you can, as far as we know.
None of them did.
None of them did. Maybe you can't. So we'll say you can there. So on that, you want to step down with the outside leg. Usually, once that other foot hits, is it right when you're going back up for the next rep, whether staying low or coming up high, however you want to think about that. Once that's down, I'm straight back up to the next rep. It goes without mentioning, but obviously only jump as high as is necessary. You're going to be excited out the gate. Don't clip your foot, but don't jump to a 26-inch box when it's only 24 inches. So find a good rhythm there that you're just covering the box. Should be a soft landing. Mine were not soft. To use that energy,
loud.
Minimize it.
Did you run a bunch today?
I just ran a mile earlier.
Oh, okay.
A little warm up. And then on the box with the wall ball, we'll show that.
Oh,
so
yeah. You're going to do the crossover, or are you going to do the...
This is what I do, I think.
Spin at the top?
Once I touch with this leg, that's one way to do it. The leg that touches, I go right back up with, and it is that kind of pseudo crossover. That leg touches and back up.
You could do the just pure lateral, where this leg is just up and over.
And then back down, this right leg's back, right leg right back up. So back this side, left leg touches, right back up. That is what I do.
Okay, I was about to say, a little less footwork there, but some people do the crossover too. So whatever works for you.
Just keep it simple. When that last foot touches, it's right back on top of the box. That way it'll keep you facing the same direction and minimizing extra footwork, which will add up a lot in this workout. What else?
Back down, box jump overs. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think come up with your plan of attack. This is going to be a tough one to redo. I think you've got 12 minutes, so you kind of have to push. I think Colton said it well. You're not going to fail a wall ball. If you start getting a bunch of no reps, maybe you do stop and take a second. But
he won't fail on a wall ball.
No, that's true.
Pace out the gate. We'll get you really warm. We'll show you some great warm-up, cool-down mobility. That'll keep you, and there'll be a resource guide below with a total warm-up laid out, so you can get very aerobically warmed up, heart rate, and then legs for sure primed, ready to go. That way you're coming to the workout hot. 12 minutes is a classic CrossFit time frame. So you're pacing this maybe 85, 90% up till that 9 to 10 minute mark, and then you're going hammer, pitch black. Don't know where you're at, just know where the next rep is, and don't get no reps.
Good luck. Let us know how it goes in the comments.
All right, guys, 26.1 just got announced. We've got wall balls, box step overs, and box jumps. So obviously a lot of legs going on in this, so we want to get those primed and warmed up. We're going to link a PDF down below, so make sure you guys check out that. Before we do any movements here at Mayhem, we make sure we run over crossover symmetries for the shoulders, and also doing our hip halo banded series. So make sure we hit that before we get rolling into this warm up. So movement one, what we're gonna go into, we're gonna get in like a Bulgarian squat position, and we're gonna treat this as a stretch of the hip flexor and quad, and also an activation on the opposite side. So we'll take our step out, rear foot's gonna be elevated. We're gonna go nice control down into this, go to where we start to feel a quad stretch. We're gonna hang out here for about 5 seconds, and then I want a good slow control quad activation on the opposite side coming up. And so we're gonna run through about 10 reps of this on each side. 1 to 2 sets on this, depending upon how activated you feel. If you feel like you need to go 2 sets, go 2 sets on that, okay? Next one, we're gonna come over to a couple plates we got stacked up here. If you also have a slant board, you could use that as well. This works great. So what we're gonna do is stack a couple plates. I've got the rig here that I'm holding on to. I wanna let my heel drop down lower than the plates, hang out here in a stretch for about 5 seconds again. We're gonna come up into a double leg calf raise and then slow control back down into that. We just wanna make sure we're getting length to our calf and then a good activation coming back up. So same thing with this is here. We're gonna hit about 2 sets of this, about 10 reps on each, okay? Last piece of this is gonna be, we're gonna be holding on to a wall ball in this position a lot, right? So if you're bear hugging, it's gonna add to it. Then also, if you stack it here, right, we need to get our thoracic spine opened up for this. So what I like to do, we're gonna go down on the ground, almost like you're gonna be hitting a glute bridge. Thoracic spine is gonna be resting right on top of that ball. Make sure we keep a good core activation from here. I'm gonna start hands up, and then we're just gonna reach back towards the ground, let that thoracic spine open, and then come back up out of that, okay? So for this, we're gonna hit about 2 sets, around 10 to 12 reps on that. And so, like I said, make sure, big thing, in the notes down below, moving into your specific warm-up for the workout, we wanna be doing a plyometric to get the quads activated, ready to go, and primed and ready for this workout. So good luck, and we'll see you on the leaderboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 2026. It's been too long, and we're here with 26.1 with your scaled and foundations tips and tricks. We have our lovely assistant Bella with us today, and we are going to be going through this workout to give you the strategies that are going to set you up for success. So for this workout, we've got a combination of wall balls, box jump overs, but for our scaled and foundations, we can do step overs if we want to there. And then we also have to grab that wall ball and do step overs with our wall ball. So we're going to break this down movement by movement, give you some strategies in terms of what we're looking here. So for this workout, this is one to go way too fast, way too soon, and you're gonna get in trouble. So what we want you to think about doing is for your wall ball technique, you need to think about breaking this up into manageable sets for yourself. So if wall balls are the bane of your existence, think about doing 2 quick sets of 10 so that you can breathe, collect yourself, and then pick the ball back up again. We wanna think about when we are extended overhead, this is where we take our breath in because our lungs are nice and open. So we wanna, and then we go down with that air and breathe out as we go up. You're gonna think about the same thing of keeping your breathing on track with each of your reps when you go into the box step overs, and we'll take a look at that when we get to the movements. Your stimulus on this is gonna be moderate and consistent until you get to the back half. If you feel like you can start to push the pace a little bit and get in under that 12-minute time cap, that's your time to step on the gas pedal. But be smart about it, pace yourself where you can maintain through this to get to the peak and then back down. So, let's go ahead and take a look at our wall balls. So I'm gonna go ahead and have Bella pick this ball up. First, she's gonna turn around and face us. So what she's gonna do is she's gonna take this ball and she's gonna get it close to her face, and she's gonna tuck her arms and elbows into her sides like this. The reason we do this is her arms are now braced against her rib cage and it provides support. So she's not hold the ball out in front of yourself like this, holding it out here, which a lot of people will do. So when we pull that ball in, next what she's gonna do is just go ahead and give us a squat. You don't have to hold the bottom, but back up. Good. We want to make sure we're getting below parallel with this, and if you think that you're maybe below parallel, you're probably not, so try to go down just a little bit lower. We're going to think about now, let's go ahead and do a thruster with the ball. So she's going to squat, stand, and back up, and bring it back to your chest. Good. One thing I want you to notice about the timing here is I'm going to have her do 2 thrusters in a row. What's going to happen is when the ball comes back to her chest, she's going to have a big release button for her hips there. So when that ball comes down, it unlocks her hips so she can go into the next rep. So go ahead and give us 2 in a row. So we go up, hit that button. You squatted a little bit earlier, right there, and then down, okay? We'll get the timing down when we go to the wall. And there we go. Get rid of the pause at the top, okay? So now we're gonna go ahead and face the wall, and what I'm gonna have Bella do is that she's gonna open up with just, give us 2 reps. We're gonna go 2 reps here. She's gonna squat, using her legs for power to drive that up and relax. Great job, drop the ball. When we are doing wall balls, You've done it in class before with that person next to you, that it seems like somehow their ball is coming back down faster than yours, and it's because they're using their legs for power, not their arms. When we're doing wall balls, we want to think about the power coming from our legs, and then our direction is coming from our arms. If we are standing and we're extending with our arms hard to throw that ball, it makes it float, and it's gonna be up there a little bit longer. So rep over rep, somebody's gonna gain on you if they're not doing that. The second thing is getting close enough to the wall so that we're throwing up versus towards the wall. If we're far enough back, it's simple geometry that if we throw that up, it's gonna have to come back down to us and take a longer path. So that's another way you can speed up those reps. What Bella's gonna do is she's gonna go ahead and pick the ball up for us. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do 3 reps. What Bella's gonna do is that she's going to do her rep. When that ball comes back down and makes contact with her chest, her hips are gonna unlock and she'll go into the next one. So go ahead. And good, and hips, good. And hips, good, and one more. Hips, perfect, and relax. Now, with that, when Bella went into her squat, she matched the speed of the wall ball. She never slowed that down. So as soon as she absorbed that, her arms moved at the same speed down into her squat and back up. The more advanced technique is that if that ball's coming down and you start beginning the squat to think about receiving that ball as you're going down to the bottom, it's gonna make you go a little bit faster, but do what you're comfortable with. So don't try to do something new in this workout. Let's get through it. Let's establish a great score and set up a great start for the open. Now, with this, you can go ahead and drop the ball. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move into our box step overs or our box jump overs. Now, you can do box jump overs for scaled or for foundations, but step overs are allowed in this. And we have a couple variations. So the first one, I'm gonna have Bella go ahead and face the box. She's gonna step up and she's gonna turn around on top of the box and then step back down, tap with her foot and right back up. Good, one more. And one more. Turn on the box. Good, and relax. With that method, that's gonna be something, if you've got knee issues and you don't feel comfortable doing a lateral step, that's a great option for you, and we're not wasting time on the ground spinning around. The next option that we have is gonna be a simple side step. So she's gonna face this side, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and step up, other foot comes up, and then step down to the other side. Good, and then go again, give me 2 more reps. We're gonna go up, good, no crossover just yet, good, right there, and relax. So with that method, what we're starting to do is that we're getting a step over that's gonna be a faster cycle time for us. We've eliminated the turn. You need to make sure you've got good knee positioning when we do this. And then I'm gonna do the most advanced technique, which is gonna be our crossover position. Now, for our crossover position, I'm gonna tell you, if you got good knees and you do these wrong, it's still gonna hurt. So make sure you pay attention to this one. If I am completely lateral to the box and I come up with my outside leg, I do my crossover and down, up, with my outside leg. Look at the position that I'm having to get my knee in. This is no good for anybody. So the correction that I make here, shift myself so I'm gonna be more 45 degrees to the box. Now, when I come up, I can keep that knee in a safe position, meet our points of performance that we commonly have for a squat or anything where we have to have knee bend into it, and that will allow us to go into this and stay steady and save our knees. The last thing that we have is gonna be our box step overs with the ball. Now with these, you can hold the ball in any fashion. It can be in the front, it can be on the shoulder. I would recommend that you try a couple variations and find out what works best for you. If you have it up here, if we take this ball and we go back here and you let it hang off the back, you're taxing your shoulder right now. So what I want you to do is think about getting that ball into the side of your neck, so that if you know a good chiropractor after this, you may need them. But that ball is supported by your body. Bella's gonna go ahead and choose the step over style that she wants to do. Good, so she's choosing the turnover on the top. Good, and one more. Now, when you come down, go ahead and switch sides for me. Good, and back up. Switching sides is something that's gonna be super important if you're holding unilaterally, because now we're gonna keep ourselves balanced so we're not blowing up one side on this movement. And relax, fantastic. Now go ahead and set it down. Bella did stand up all the way with hips and knees. That's not a requirement unless that you want to do that yourself. If we think about keeping this ball in this position and we stay in a bent position here, focus on your chest positioning so that we're not dropping ourselves into this. If we drop our chest down too much, our low back's gonna blow up and it's gonna make wall balls even worse. So that is everything that we have for you guys. We are so proud that you've stuck with us through last year. If this is your first year with us, welcome. We're gonna keep doing weeks and weeks of these videos. We hope you find them helpful. So thank you, best of luck, and we will catch you next week for 26.2.
All right, guys, 26.1 cool down. So we've taken you through the warm up, you've done the workout, now we're moving into our cool down. So obviously after this, legs are gonna be toast, right? So we need to make sure that we do our recovery stuff, make sure that we're hydrating, taking care of your body after this, leading up into next week. So what do we really recommend on this? It doesn't have to be crazy sexy, just make sure you do the work on this. We're gonna spend about a minute on each body part here, talking about our quads and our calf, and starting to smash this with a foam roller. So whatever way you feel best, what I like to do for the quads, place the foam roller down, you go straight down on top of the quad and start to just work back and forth. If you find a spot that's super tender, lean into that a little bit, spend a little bit of extra time there, and make sure that we kind of work that soreness out a little bit, okay? So same thing with your calf. What we're gonna do is place this straight down, work back and forth on the calf. If this isn't enough pressure, take the other leg over the top, apply a little bit more pressure down, start working back and forth. You find those tender spots, keep working on those, okay? And so for the last thing, what we want to do, we spent a lot of time during this workout in hip flexion, right? So kind of like with our warm up, we're going to get into a couch stretch position. You can use a bench here. If you're more flexible, you can go up to the wall and put your foot up on the wall and just drop your knee straight down. So we're getting in that rear foot elevated squat position. And so from here, what I like to do, make sure we're not arching through our low back, keep the ribs kind of tucked down. And what I'm going to do is push back into this. Once I get about as far as I comfortably can with the stretch here, I'm going to think about squeezing my glutes for about 5 seconds and then relaxing back out of that, okay? So about 30 seconds to a minute hanging out here on each leg. You can hit a couple sets of that back and forth. Nothing crazy, and don't push too far into it. Just want to feel a nice stretch through your quad, through your hip flexor, okay? So that's cool down 26.1. We'll see you guys next week.